Historical Brands and Target Market Products by Krystina Salazar. Today I'll be talking about three historical brands: Nike, Canon, and Jack Daniels. I'll begin with Nike. Nike was founded by two men who became partners to create running shoes under the name of Blue Ribbon Sports. The shoes were advertised by cold calling, writing letters, and even mailing samples to gain manufacturers' attention. This photo illustrates the early foundation and deal that led to become the Nike brand in the next decade. The official Nike name and swoosh logo was established in the 1970s, along with a new line of footwear that was advertised in product brochures, catalogs, print ads, and endorsed by famous athletes. Consumers could now purchase Nike merchandise by mail order in retail stores. A photo shows one of the earliest versions of the swoosh logo and the shoe worn by an athlete during the U.S. Olympic track and field trials. Nike began to expand its market beyond running shoes to present its first signature shoe by the then rookie Michael Jordan. They also created television marketing campaigns to highlight the popular Air Max line, which inspired the infamous slogan, "Just Do It." This photo illustrates the new products that Nike created in the 1980s. Nike began focusing on clothing lines and uniforms of specific sports like golf and soccer. Similar to Jordan in the past decade, the brand sponsored an unknown Tiger Woods to develop the affiliate brand Nike Golf. The picture shows Nike Town in Portland, Oregon, as well as soccer team uniforms decorated by the brand. Nike moved its marketing approach from a singularly focused, large product line advertising campaign to multiple campaigns targeted to many different athletic sectors and individuals. This enabled Nike to expand its brand globally and identify with consumers in a more personal way by utilizing social media and the internet. This photo contains a variety of innovative ads that Nike produced in the recent years. Nike has always relied heavily on their extremely successful celebrity endorsement advertising strategy, although the brand continuously struggles to maintain a good image. We may all remember when Tiger Woods lost his sponsorship with Nike, along with many others during his infamous adultery accusations. But Nike has also dropped celebrities like Joe Paterno over the Penn State sex abuse scandal, and Oscar Pistorius, the South African sprinter better known as the Blade Runner, whom was recently charged for premeditated murder and have all preserved a less than squeaky image for the brand. Next, Canon. In 1936, Precision Optical Instruments Laboratory released the first commercial camera named the Hansa Canon. In the next year, the lab transformed into a company and followed with a series of name and logo changes that eventually led to the Canon brand that we are familiar with today. These illustrations show the earliest forms of print advertisements published in Japan. After the war, the brand went global and opened its first U.S. office in New York, creating Canon USA, to become a leader in American product development. The company continued to release newer photo cameras and eventually movie cameras in the 1950s. The latest model and specifications were advertised in newspapers and displayed in these photos. In the next decade, Canon desired to expand its market to the business field by manufacturing products such as electronic calculators and copy machines. The brand also targeted consumers by offering more colorful and attractive camera options featured in magazines as shown. The early 70s allowed the brand to appeal to professional photographers with the introduction of a camera line with advanced features and multi-functions suitable for optimum performance. This new generation attracted a higher class of audience by utilizing celebrity endorsements. Canon further developed cameras with automated functions and released video camcorders at full scale. On its 50th year anniversary, Canon released a line of cameras with electronic optical system, or EOS technology, that is still featured in products today. The 90s was all about transitioning from analog to digital. The best part about this new feature was perhaps now the user could almost instantly view the outcome of the image or video before waiting for it to develop. Canon continued to produce digital products for both consumers and professionals through the remainder of the decade as shown. From the early millennium to this day, compact cameras and high-definition video have been all the rage. Canon continues to produce each superior product after another to meet both consumer demands and technological advancements. The brand continues to appeal to consumers mainly through print, which is a bit concerning due to the decline of the industry. Yet this makes sense because a major part of Canon products rely heavily on printing still, even in a digital era. I believe Canon's current marketing strategy has shifted towards the do-it-yourself generation, with the surge of user-friendly and high-quality products. This theory especially appeals to buyers commonly referred to as prosumers. For example, buying an affordable, professional-grade camera might inspire someone to take their own photos instead of hiring an actual professional photographer. Canon recognizes this increasing trend and therefore remains at the top of the industry for over 70 years. Now we will take a look at an even older tradition of the Jack Daniel's brand. The Jack Daniel's legend goes back almost 150 years from today. But don't worry, we won't have much to discuss about their advertising strategy until fairly recent decades. In 1866, the whiskey company was founded by none other than Jack Daniel's himself in Lynchburg, Tennessee. The process has remained virtually the same throughout the years, which is precisely what makes the brand so popular. In these illustrations, you can see that Jack Daniel's was once advertised for medicinal use, and later in newspaper articles as the alcohol we recognize today. Until the 1950s, the brand relied heavily on word-of-mouth advertising, communicating with its consumers through the method of storytelling. These fables were then published in print to attract an audience that preferred traditions rather than the actual flavor of the liquor, most famously known as Old Number 7. With American culture swiftly changing in the 60s, purchasers were attracted by the mysteriously seductive man behind the brand. The more factual and perhaps more important part of his story is the painstaking process in which the whiskey is made. This created more demand for the brand, yet the company scarcely released products increasing desire. Up until the mid-70s, Jack Daniel's continued to release attractive ads while allowing very little disbursement to local retailers. The distillery was eventually rebuilt in order to make more whiskey, leading to a global brand with a more than satisfied market. Mega rock bands such as Def Leppard, Rolling Stones, and Led Zeppelin influenced society by drinking the preferred brand. In the 80s, Jack Daniel released a new line of whiskey named Gentleman Jack, appealing to a more sophisticated audience with its higher proof and more complex distillery process. The advertising campaign also released merchandise that is still widely popular today, remaining centralized to its Tennessee roots. The next decade, popular items that we see today were introduced, such as grilling and mixed drink recipes. The brand held several competitions that featured the traditional Old Number 7 whiskey that cleverly supported the growth of the sales in the 90s. Today, the brand has gone back to its central focus on the old whiskey making tradition, although it is featuring the story in new mediums like internet and catching attention on clever billboards. One in particular did not last very long, as it sparked some outrage from the area community. It certainly got people talking about the brand once again, and for that, I believe it was effective enough. Jack Daniel's also expanded their reach by sponsoring motor racing teams and national concerts, which you'll get a glance at in the next presentation. In this segment, I featured 6 product lines made by the previous brands shown. Nike Free. Here we see where Nike focuses on the health and medical benefits of the Nike Free technology in a journal-based article. In the other magazine ad, the brand appeals to consumers as more of a convenience and comfort form of shoe, which features more style and expression. Nike Air Jordan. 2 of the old Air Jordan ads can be seen in the next set of photos. One attracts a more humorous audience, perhaps school-age or higher consumers whom are familiar with the laws of gravity, also featuring the famous Michael Jordan in one of his most memorable shots. The other photo appeals to the more educated consumer, still in touch with the latest trends, but also likes to know the backstory too. Canon. Canon Pixma. In the next series, the Canon Pixma printer is displayed appealing to families because it features a young girl and a pet. It also might appeal to the do-it-yourselfer, as I mentioned earlier. The other photo contains a high-resolution image that shows superior quality for a motion scene. Surprisingly, this is a printed photo and would appeal to individuals interested in action sports or similar activities. Canon PowerShot. The next photo implies a bit of risque humor and uses sex appeal to attract a younger male audience. The other ad appeals to both vacationers and adventurers by featuring a more family-friendly environment. Back to Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels, traditional old number 7. The last set features Jack Daniels' oldest and most famous product, the traditional old number 7. Here, the brand appeals to both the urban and pop culture, featuring a concert series, while attracting a more rural country and sports audience. Jack Daniel's Malt Beverages. This final segment features malt beverages that may appeal to women or the consumer who does not like to drink beer or may want to try new things. The ad next to it appears to be more classy and goes back to the traditional flavors without standing out too much from the crowd. Thanks for tuning in. This next section displays the sources used to complete this presentation. Thank you.